Okay guys, the release date for Dark Deception Chapter 4 has just been confirmed. That being said, let's get into my Dark Deception Chapter 4 predictions updated. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Judah Culp and welcome back to Dark Deception. So recently, me and a friend of mine, who I will not say, therefore I don't know what they're comfortable with, talked about the Dark Deception Chapter 4 predictions due to the info that we had. And we made a list of some pretty good crap. That being said, today, I am going to go over the predictions that we came up with. But before we get into this, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing from me. Now, let's get into the predictions about the Reaper nurses. So there is already going to be an opening what the entrance to the level is going to be. It is going to introduce the power of telekinesis. Again, the voice revealed that. Oh, look, actually the devil looks like he just walked in. So the setting we know is going to be the hospital. Vanish away because I'm pretty sure me and him talked about how they kind of reveal their powers at the beginning of the level in each level. So what if they like vanish away and then the level actually starts? So, we learned that there are going to be multiple floors at the hospital. So I think it's a great idea that in each zone there are multiple floors, flights of stairs we must go up to get the soul shards. I think that's an interesting idea. So, when it comes down to traps, the only thing I can think of are the spike traps return. We also thought of that the walls that we must use to open using our telekinesis is going to be an obstacle to get through as well, which is interesting. But besides that, Zone 2, we really didn't think of anything new for Zone 2. We just thought it would be a reveals the dark truth about the hospital thing. But it's exactly the same, except it's just a mess. Kind of like how in Agatha's level, in Zone 2, it's all messed up, and the first part of it is very nice. You know what I mean? So, about the nurses and their behavior, we figured that the nurses are going to have the vanish ability, therefore due to every single monster before having a resemblance to abilities in the past. So, we think that when the nurses vanish, the music goes back to normal, making you think you're safe, but you're really not. That's going to make things difficult for us, isn't it? We also know that they are faster than our speed boost. Like, seriously, that's fast. What? I can't even voice crack the way I used to. Wow. So we think that to get by them, you're going to have to use your teleport to good use and trick them. And if they miss you while they're charging, they'll crash straight into the wall, and they will have to reboot to chase after you again. And of course, there's definitely going to be more than one, because after all, they're Reaper nurses, not the Reaper nurse. We haven't been calling them that. And they'll probably increase in numbers as the level goes on. And interestingly, there's only 2 zones. I was right, people! Everyone was like, no, there's going to be 3 zones, because this has been confirmed that, Chapter 4 is going to have 3 zones in every level. They said it was only going to be 2 zones in the Reaper Nurses. Screw you! I did it again! Let's get it, people! Now, we know that the boss is going to be the matron. We can't really think of any predictions for that, but we did think that she might have an IV circulating around her, and there's a way we, find levers and turn it off to shut her down and defeat her. We think that's how the boss is going to work. But then the alarm goes off, and we have to escape. So during escape sequence, the nurses and Malik are going to chase after you. I think all the walls that we opened are going to be closed now, meaning we need to do a specific pattern to get ourselves through it. And if we mess up once, we are dead. So after that, we exit the level, and that is the nurses level for y'all. Now that you think about it, it kind of sounds like a harder version of Agatha's level, don't you think? Final thoughts on the nurses? There's a weapon that Malik has in Monsters Immortals, and we might be able to see that in Dark Deception Chapter 4, because, well, he used it in the games, and Vince said he takes off his kid's gloves for Chapter 4, so what if he uses this weapon? We might have an answer, folks. And in theory about what the Reaper nurses represent in Doug's life, I think they represent his guilt towards everything he did. They represent the hospital he died in, and they also represent the guilt that he feels about everything he did. After all, they're wearing bags on their heads. Now, let's get into the Joy Joy Gang. So, we know that the setting of this one is a theme park, Joy Joy Land, a place once full of joy and now filled with blood and tears. Yeah. It's pretty much the dark side of Disney World. There is most definitely going to be a cutscene here because it's the Joy Joy Gang. And who's going to perform the Joy Joy ditty that's in the soundtrack? And then from there, the malfunction, and we go into the first zone of the game, which we think is the theme park. So we think in the first zone, the soul shards are going to be kind of spread out, which kind of makes it difficult. And outside, we tried to think of traps, but we couldn't. The best thing we could think of was like the guillotine thing that was in the clowns level before the boss. That's all we could think of. Then we go into the castle, and that takes us into Zone 2 production, where we first saw the notorious B.I.G. break through some doors. And then after that, we take the elevator down to go to Zone 3, into a factory, pretty much. Zone 3 is definitely going to be the hardest one out of them, because if you can't take the heat, you better stay out of the kitchen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why am I referencing that? Anyways, we think that the Joy Joy Gang is going to work like this. Lucky is going to be the fastest one. He's going to be running around being like, I'm coming for you, and he's going to be the main one to kill you. But he can't open doors. Penny is about middle speed, and she throws eggs at you and glides like a stupid chicken. Sorry, I just don't like the way they did Penny's things in this game. I just don't like it. But she cannot also open doors. Hangry is the slowest, and he never stops moving. And he breaks doors, making them unusable. Meaning, Lucky and Hangry can't open them, but when Hangry breaks them, they can get in. So you'll have to use those doors wisely. But if they're open, Hangry doesn't break them, because why would he? I had a theory that a fourth member joins them in Zone 3, but I scratched that theory. It's probably not true anymore. We know the boss is Joykill, and Vince said he's big, so we got another giant coming our way. And it's an amalgamation too. I honestly don't know how this is going to work out and how we're going to fight this thing. But there's a way. We'll see when the chapter comes out. Final thoughts on Joy Joy Gang. I have made a video about this. Insane. The Joy Joy Gang represents the whole park to self-destruct. Each three Joy Joy Gang members are insane. Run back through Zone 2. I'm not Zone 2, sorry. That's it. Zone 1. And pretty much get back to the portal before you blow up. And also, the Lucky Clones that we've had teasers about will be chasing you throughout it. Not the Joy Joy Gang, but the Lucky Clones. So I have a theory that before you go into the Trigger Teddy's level, Malik confronts you and you actually fight him for the very first time. Because if you go to the soundtrack, the Malik soundtracks are between the Joy Joy Gang and Mama Bear. One of them sounds like a boss theme, one of them sounds like before one, and one of them sounds like after one. What if we fight Malik in the ballroom before we go into the Mama Bear and Trigger Teddy's level? Think about it. Now let's get into the Trigger Teddy's level. So we know there is a forest and cave involved in here. Yeah, screw you, Smackin' Pie, who said this was a toy store. Frickin' simp. So, due to the teaser, we are going to walk into a cabin, and Mama Bear is going to confront us. I don't think the first zone is going to take place in a cabin. I think that the first zone is going to be a forest with very little light, and then Zone 2 and 3 is going to be a cave with none at all. To get through this darkness, we are going to have to use our map to guide us and our telepathy. Telepathy. That sounds like tilapia and telepathy mixed. Anyways, we'll need to use our telepathy to see the teddies and Mama Bear. That is how we're going to get through this. Once again, I don't know anything about traps. Honestly, how are they going to do traps? It's pitch black. How? Anyways, let's get into behavior of the Trigger Teddies and Mama Bear. So the Trigger Teddies, unlike the clowns, are not going to be in huge numbers like I expected. They're going to be one each separated monkey speed. That honestly kind of surprises me, but heck, it works. And we don't know a lot about Mama Bear, but we do know that she has power over speed. Something to think about. Do you guys have any predictions for Mama Bear? Put them in the comments below. So we think the boss is going to be Mama Bear and her teddies merge as one and they become a giant trigger teddy made out of trigger teddies. We don't know how to defeat it because with that less light, how could we possibly do that? So we're gonna say we don't know how to defeat this thing. But once it's defeated, it will chase us out of the cave. And once we are out of the cave, it collapses on Mama Bear, killing her. Trigger teddies, filled with rage, will chase you out of Zone 1 and through the entrance back to the portal where Chapter 4 meets its conclusion. I think Mama Bear and Trigger teddies are actually Doug's wife and kids. Because where's the Papa Bear? And it was unconfirmed that there won't be one. No, Agatha does not represent Tammy Hauser. There. That's my theory. I might make another video in depth of that theory. So if you guys have questions, don't be like, what? I am going to make a separate video about this. Don't worry, it'll come out. Okay, guys, we just went over everything about Dark Deception Chapter 4 predictions. So if you want to get some good predictions and you want to remember them, go to this video. Like, seriously. Okay, guys, I will see you all in the next video. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any Dark Deception from me. I'll see you all in the next video.